Ready?
Yep.
You're not happy?
I'm not happy.
Righto.
Recording equipment's not
Matt.
working.
This is our first Love on the Spectrum audition. We've got Cara with us. No, I'm joking. That's a bit of an inside joke. So it's the Nevermind Adventure podcast, oddcast, whatever you want to call it. And we're in Brisbane recording live. I've travelled up from Connewarre all the way to the Gold Coast and back down to Byron, then back up to Brisbane, and we're sitting in apartment bed. I feel a bit like a drug dealer.
With one bed.
With one bed. It's supposed to be a 2-bedroom place. So
Don't make me book.
Not sure who's getting the bed tonight, Frankie, but we're here with Cara. And the reason we're here with Cara is because she's living in a van. I'll let her talk about that in a minute. But we recently spent 2 lovely weeks exploring Vietnam on motorcycles with you, Cara.
Yes.
So would you like to tell us just a little bit about that experience and your thoughts on it?
Oh, Vietnam was nothing that I expected, actually. And I was terrified because I realised it was a lot of off-road that I've never done before. Mm. But I did it, and everyone was cool, and even with a bit of a stupid little injury going down a ditch, it was still amazing. And I'm here to tell the story. Okay?
So tell us about the incident about going down the ditch, because I wasn't too far behind you.
I was directly behind you.
It was
Yes.
quite. It was
Yes.
interesting. It was quite.
No, you were in front.
No, I was behind you. Oh, I was in front.
Yeah, you were in front. That's why I
Yeah.
crashed, because I didn't want to crash into you.
Oh, it was fucking my fault then.
So, yeah, I'm blaming you.
That's all right. I blame Frankie that we're 45 minutes late today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
I'm used to it.
tell us about that. How was that?
Well, it was an awesome day of riding, and I think we had just witnessed a really strange thing up on a hill with a guy with a giant boombox in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of the
Remember?
jungle.
Yeah, pulls out the karaoke mic and does a beautiful song
Incredible
in
work.
some strange village, non-village somewhere. And then we got back on the bikes, and I guess the terrain was a bit rocky. And
it was down.
And it was really, there was down. And I couldn't stop my bike, basically. So I saw Frankie and I think someone else in front of Frankie, and I was like, well, I'm either going to hit them or I can head for this bush over here.
It was funny.
Little did I know the bush
What
was
was-
hiding a ditch.
Yes, I was going to say there was something in front of that bush. It was quite deep.
I
Yes.
just remember looking at you in the rearview mirror and you're just stuck in a bush and you're like, help, Frankie! And you've just got like a bush hanging out of your helmet.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing, but you were just like, I'm okay.
I was laughing, but just going, I think it just broke my foot, but this is really funny at the same time.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I came around the corner, I couldn't see you, I just saw a bike laying in the ditch.
Yeah.
I didn't realise there was a person,
Yes.
there's a human being under the bike. And I just jumped off, picked up the bike, I'm like, oh, Cara, how you
Hi,
going?
Cara.
And you stood up, you went, oh, my ankle's a bit sore.
Yes.
And that was a couple of days off the bike for you.
Yeah, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind in the end. Like, it hurt, but I didn't mind because then I got to see other stuff, from the truck.
Yeah, definitely a setup. I reckon you just felt like it was a bit much for you, needed a rest.
Possibly.
You staged a whole incident.
Well, I got to skip the most horrendous day on the bike, didn't I? That really hairy end of Lunar New Year.
What, down into across on the raft and then up the other side?
No, that bit where everyone was on the road and people were crashing everywhere and
That day. Did I?
on the
don't know
happy
that.
road or something.
Oh, that was unreal.
Maybe you guys skipped a lot
Oh,
of
was
it.
that Sapa?
We were in the
Going up to Sapa?
No, it was after
The
Sapa.
Happy Road. Remember the Happy Road? Well, none of us crashed though.
No.
Daniel did. But
Oh,
not,
yeah,
not
yeah.
bad.
That's obvious
Daniel.
reasons why
Daniel.
Sorry, Daniel.
Daniel Arlo. Fucking
We were
hell.
awake
That was a
for
good
that.
bingle actually. I was right
Oh,
behind you.
yeah. And we
Yeah.
did, didn't we sing and dance?
Yeah, we did
at
we did a
the
karaoke session.
Oh,
cafe,
at
with the Dom.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That was a good day. Big
That was an
clouds.
amazing
right.
day.
It wasn't too bad. That wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
I think from the truck we saw a lot more
Yeah.
hairy stuff. But you were
Yeah.
off that main road for a while.
No, we were alright, yeah.
Pretty amazing place though.
It was beautiful, yeah.
Yep.
Thinking back, it's such an amazing trip. I mean, since then we've been in Sri Lanka and Ireland and done a shit ton of Great Ocean Road rides. It's like,
Yeah.
and it's great to go and revisit it. And
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah. Well, and you're up here and you were just saying, like, I'm like, what have you been doing the last couple of days?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been staying in this fucking cottage on a lake, water skiing.
Yep.
I'm like, who with? Oh, Scotty Biddle.
Yep.
Who was on that trip? Who you met on that trip? You guys become mates and you come here to visit.
Yep.
I mean, that's some of the cool things that can happen.
Exactly. That's what it does.
Didn't invite me out, mind you.
Well, you're too far
don't
away.
know that.
Frankie did because she's close.
Scotty,
she's
I hope
local.
you're listening. I now know you've got a boat and a shack on a lake. And no, I'm not really a water skier, but I'd like to try it sometime.
Well, apparently he's a good teacher. He teaches people to
beautiful.
ski. So
I'm pretty good at everything, so I'll probably pick it up pretty quick, as everyone knows. But
Frankie just rolled her eyes, just for the listeners.
yeah. So that's all right. Cranky Frankie, we call her. That's the cranky bit's usually my fault. So you're living in a van. What's going on there?
I'm not
you're just
living, I'm
travelling?
just road tripping.
Road tripping.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean it as like homeless.
I'm not one of
You're
those
clearly
people.
not homeless. But, you
No, I
look
have
lovely in your black outfit.
Oh, thank you. I have sheepskin on my van, so I'm not a van lifer.
You're a fancy vanner.
I'm a fancy.
Oh, maybe we'll have to do a little Instagram live shot of the van. I'd like to have a look
Like,
at it.
welcome to my crib.
Yeah.
Like, what's that?
Crib.
Just
Yeah.
go and hide all the
Crib life.
sex
Crib
toys
life.
and dildos and vibrators.
They're hidden,
and
don't worry.
That's all right. So where have you been in the van?
Well, I came up from Sydney and just... Where did I go? Along the coast.
I don't
House sat from some friends for 2 weeks at a pretty amazing place. And then went to Brunswick Heads. Kept running into Frankie like a local. I was like, what?
Stalking.
I thought I just saw you yesterday.
I wasn't
Here
going
I
to
go.
say it, but it does seem a bit stalkerish, but we can't work out who's stalking who.
We're stalking.
We have similar things that we like doing in the morning. I don't know, coffee, walking. And then then we went water skiing on the lake, Lake Mugara. And now I've been in Brisbane for a couple of days.
Right, and where to from here?
Then I'm going up to Noosa National Park for a week or so. Coming back down here to spend a couple of nights with the girlfriends from Sydney.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to Harvey Bay to go whale watching and stuff.
So I see the patterns north.
North, and then I'll bounce back down.
Okay, you're not going to head west
No.
to the territory or...
No.
No?
No, I'm going to go back to Sydney and actually start a new life. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. Why Sydney?
Well, that's where I'm from. And then I moved back from Tasmania in December.
So many wonderful cities in the world. Why Sydney?
Because my people are there.
Okay, fair enough. Good call.
Yeah. And just stuff that I want to do
Yeah.
is in Sydney. So.
And what sort of stuff would that be?
Well, just career stuff, I'm
Yeah,
a
like-
designer. I want to work for particular people, and they're all in Sydney. So
Yep.
it's so I just want to do that, but not get too stuck because I need to come up here for winter every year.
Yeah.
So
Good plan.
and go motorcycle riding and things.
So have you got a bike at the moment still? Stashed
I
somewhere?
have a Moto Guzzi V7 Stone, which is in the backyard of my parents. In Canberra?
One of those, and that would be my pick of the colour scheme as well. That matte black, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, I gave mine a makeover a few years ago. She's gold and black with a orange pinstripe.
Yeah, Guinness
pretty.
colours.
Yeah, 4X.
Oh,
maybe.
like gold and black like you.
Gold
You're
and
wearing
black. I'm a bit of a gold and black thing.
I see another theme.
True.
Okay.
I had it modelled off a 70s Le Mans kind of style, so I got a fairing for it and stuff.
You
Little
could get a
bikini fairing.
sponsorship by Guinness. Like you could rock up at the pub, just
Yeah,
get
'cause
a
you're very
pint.
Irish
You could be.
looking.
Well,
Yeah.
when I was in Ireland,
Yes.
they thought I was Irish.
So for the people that are listening, if you're not on YouTube, because we're probably not recording it, but Cara has she's a redhead, so
Yes.
um,
And I wear a lot of gold things, that's true.
and I've just come from Ireland and I've noticed that all of their colours at the Guinness factory were black and gold. Their pints, it's black and it's
I'd never
Guinness
noticed
is
that.
in gold.
Of course.
Yeah. I was like, this is interesting. So I think you could be the next Guinness girl.
I could be the Guinness
Maybe
girl.
the first Guinness girl. I don't know. If
The
there's ever
Guinness
been one.
Guzzi girl.
Really,
A
change the
Guinness
art
bike.
just to you riding the Guzzi.
Easy.
Yeah, you could get sponsored and they'll start. You'll be their influencer. Like you pull up the pub, smash a pint of Guinness, get the Guinness mode going on, and just video it and upload it, and then
True.
probably get free Guinness wherever you go.
Oh, that'd be great.
Not that you can drink it.
Not that I can drink it, but I did when
Just
I was
pretend.
there 30 years
I think
ago.
they probably have a gluten-free version. They have an alcohol-free version.
Well, I mean, the gluten stuff comes from Celtic problems anyway.
There you go. I didn't know that.
We're potato eaters, not weed eaters.
Ah, so you're
It's a thing.
okay. We've got
It's a thing.
We've got two people that are celiacs here, and both from Irish heritage.
Yep, that's what my doctor told me.
Interesting.
From Celtic
Interesting.
heritage.
I didn't know that. Like, I didn't, wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah. He could have just been pulling my leg, but
Probably.
it seems viable.
So have you heard about when I was in Ireland? I was actually in Spain, but I was talking to some Irish people. And they were telling me about this.
They're everywhere.
They were telling me about this drink, this homebrew spirit that they brew there. It's
In Ireland.
It's like grappa. Yeah, I can't remember.
Well,
what it's
like a
called.
rock.
It's like pitchkin or something like that. You haven't heard about it?
No.
Apparently it's
What,
fucking
from
wrong.
potatoes? No.
Could be.
I don't
Could
know.
make
I had a
sense.
couple.
Just peat.
I'd had a few
Yeah.
pints at the time, and I sort of like can't remember. But I'll tell you, it's like everywhere. It's like grappa, but it's like the Irish version.
Okay.
It's like so these people that was Mary and Colin, if you're listening, they're from Adair. That's why I got talking
no
to them.
way.
Yeah, where we stayed. And, so Mary's great grandmother was a famous moonshine brewer of this
Whoa.
famous Irish moonshine shit they drink, and it's like fucking.
Is it commercial?
Wow.
Can you can buy it?
No, I don't believe you can. I think it's like
Maybe it's a bit
Homemade.
illegal.
yeah, it's like nasty shit.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll find out what the name is. I'm sure it started with P.
Oh.
But I mentioned it in Cornwall when I was there, and they knew about it as well. So I think they're the Cornish are the like similar culture, like
Right.
the Celtic type people.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so I think it's a Celtic,
Got it.
like firewater type drink. So I just wondered whether you'd come across that.
Not that I remember, no.
Okay, all right. Well, let's
No.
move on from that. So how did you get into? How long have you been writing for?
Probably about 10 years, I think.
Okay.
Not that long. Yeah.
And what brought you to it?
Well, my husband was riding a scooter and he got a bike finally.
Yep.
And so I was on the back of his bike for probably a couple of months and just went, nah, fuck this. I'm
Not
getting
for
my
you.
own thing now.
Yeah.
I think we'd done a long
Was that
ride.
because he's a shit rider, or because
No,
you're
it's-
just the back of the bike's not
It's
your
like,
thing?
I don't want to be on the back, I want to be riding.
Yeah, okay.
and
gotcha.
so-
just clarify that just in case.
No.
Poitin?
That's it. Poitin. That's the
Poitin.
drink. Yeah. How do you spell
Sorry.
it?
Poitin? No,
Poitin. Yeah.
Poitin
Yeah,
or POT.
And what's the description of it?
It's one of several traditional spirit categories, such as mezcal.
Poitin. Yeah.
Ooh.
It says that are being rediscovered by adventurous spirit and cocktail drinkers. Poitin.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Traditional Irish spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting fucked up.
Should try and find some.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Or make some.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started as a pillion and went, "This
Started
is
as a
not for me.
pillion.
I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit on what I'm going to."
I'm going to do that myself. Yes.
Put one of these internal combustion engines between my legs
That's right.
because it's a
Well, it's
safe thing
dangerous.
to do.
That's right.
On two wheels.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And so,
That's how
how
I
did you? So you'd never ridden before?
Never.
Righto.
And then I met some of the Sydney Cafe racer people.
Yep.
There was a few girls that were just starting out at the same time.
Yep.
So one of the girls, Nix, she decided to start a girl group called the Foxy Fuelers.
Ooh.
And so there was a bunch of us that were all like the L-platers. And so we used to go and practice together.
Oh, nice.
Her
That's
boyfriend
great
at the
to it.
time would teach us and like, okay, let's meet at a car park on a Saturday.
Yep.
But even like going 2 blocks out of my garage on my own was terrifying at the
Yeah,
time. So
yeah.
never. So I had a little tiny GN 250,
Yep.
which I only bought because I got so nervous test riding it in Bondi that I dropped it. And so I went, I guess I have to buy it now.
Yeah.
Wow. But she was cool, my little bike. Yeah, and then just went from
It's
there.
like I still remember when I learnt to ride, and I was like 8 or 9. But that first 6 months or 12 months even, it's so fucking exciting. Like you can barely
Yeah.
sleep.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing it later in life, but I kind of,
Right.
in some ways, I wish I could experience it again. Like
Yeah.
listening to you, because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
You go to bed at night, you're like, fuck, I can't wait to get on my bike in the morning. You
Exactly.
fucking beauty, you
yeah.
know.
It's any excuse to
very-
go anywhere
Yeah, it's
on
very
your bike.
exciting. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's your freedom, you know. It's like it must be, and you know, as coming to it later in life, like you know, not that you're old or anything, but you're not 8 or 9,
I'm not a chicken, no. Spring chicken.
and as a female too, I imagine that would be quite cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Quite
I made
powerful, yeah. Quite
really,
exciting.
it was really exciting.
Yeah.
And the girls, we became a really tight group.
Yeah.
Not many of them are really riding that much these days.
Yeah.
But we're all still really tight.
But that happens. Like you ride with people, and then you find new people, and then
Yeah.
I think that's one of the cool things I've seen on bike tours too. Is like you sometimes lose track. You find yourself losing track of your riding mates, and then you do a trip.
Yeah.
Guaranteed, you kind of come back with a handful of bloody people from all over God knows where that you can ride with. Because they're all people just like us. It's cool.
Well, that's a great thing. It doesn't even matter what style bike you ride, I reckon.
No.
You still got everything in common. Because I used to be a little bit, I'm Sydney, and, I'm a bit snobby.
Oh, is that
sometimes.
Yeah, Sydney people. So it's true,
I'm
isn't
a
it?
Sydney cafe racer. So I'm not going to ride those dirt bikes. I'm not riding street bikes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right, okay. I
just because it's the look for me.
I think it's that fucking cafe racer scene.
It's the cafe racer.
It's not my fucking
can be a bit cool for school sometimes.
Yeah.
But not that we're like that. But what it taught me was so many different walks of life. One of the first group rides I went on, there was this guy fully tats, like face tats and everything, and he'd look. Any other time I just go, wow, what's this guy's deal? But he was riding a wicked bike. I can't remember what it was, some chopper, I think.
Yeah.
And he was really nice. I went, oh right, so everyone's the same, pretty much.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And if you're on a bike somewhere and you break down or something, it's like someone, whether you're male, female, whatever, it doesn't matter. Someone will come and help you. Like it's like you're right, mate. You're running out of petrol and stupid shit like that. And someone always comes along. Oh, my fucking last. What was it? What's today? What day is it today? It's Wednesday. So Friday.
Yeah.
I was picking up a bike from a mate's place that I left there. I left it there for a month. I forgot all about it. Got back to mine and I thought, I better pick this fucking bike up.
Yeah.
Of course, got a flat battery, so we jump started it, and then I had to ride it around the block because he's got it lit back on the back alleyway and bring it out to my ute at the front and load it up.
Mm.
And as I pulled out, this is Kobe, and as I pulled out of the laneway, I stalled it and it had a flat battery, and I'm like, fuck. So I had to push it. It was probably about 400 metres back to the ute, and I'm just pushing it. I reckon 3 people come up to me and went, "You right, mate? Do you need a hand?" I was like, "No, I'm all right. I'm nearly there." But that's it. If I was just like, "Oh, what's that?" I said, she's just got a flat battery, fellas. All good.
Yeah.
Go past the next house Friday night. People having beers out the front, and they, "Hey, mate, you all right? You need a lift?" No, that's all good. Thanks anyway. It's like bikes they bring the best out in people.
They really do. Well, when I joined the Sydney Cafe Racer kind of scene, there was like the whole Facebook group, and it's like, "Oh, is anyone around this place because I'm run out of petrol or whatever?" And someone would just like turn up.
Yeah.
It's just really amazing. Although I have no idea that people did that
until
I was
going,
riding
the
bikes.
Cafe Racer thing?
Yeah,
I remember Mark Hauer and Scotty Hopkin, and they were pretty big in the Sydney group.
They're not doing it. Well, I don't know. I've been away from Sydney.
Yeah, I think it doesn't seem as big as it once was, but I'm sure it's
everyone's kind of gotten older and they've got busy lives and stuff. But a lot of them have turned, I think they're all doing dirt biking more than anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
On the other
Getting
one, I
off the
started
streets.
dirt bikes, then got into the road bikes.
Did you? Yeah.
Well, because I was 8 or 9.
Of course.
What do?
Yeah. I'd love to have been doing that as a kid. That would have been amazing.
I was lucky, like as my old man was a biker.
Yeah, right.
And on the outskirts of Geelong, there was just lots of open land, so
right.
Off you go. Here's an old $200 fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Go and ride it.
Go break some bones, son.
Yeah. It's like they had this thing like, sometimes he'd come down on Saturday or whatever, and me and my brother be out riding around.
Yeah.
And like, there's no exhaust on it, but he liked it. That was noisy because he just sit in his car and drink stubbies and read the paper.
Yeah.
And he could hear us, If you couldn't hear anything, someone's hurt himself.
Then he's going to
And my mate Jace from Griffith, the farmer from Griffith, you might have heard of him. He's a bit of a poet, so he wrote a really sick poem about us.
Cool.
But he's the same because he grew up on a farm, and he said the same thing. He goes, my folks pull the exhaust off,
right,
and we ride around the paddock all day, and if they couldn't hear anything, they know we fucked ourselves up.
Wow.
That was the 80s,
Yep. Have you all got bad ears?
Sorry?
Have you all got bad ears?
Can't hear.
No, exactly.
As a bike goes past.
As the bike
goes
past.
I think my hand's pretty good, actually.
Oh.
Surprisingly. So,
yeah.
Yeah, so growing up in Sydney,
Mm-hmm.
inner city, like what area? Like you on the beaches or?
Well, western suburbs, and then as a kid we moved to Canberra.
Penrith girl.
Moorebank, which
Where's
is near
Moorebank?
Liverpool. It's like a
Oh,
new
yes, so
suburb.
not as far as Penrith. I lived in Penrith last year. I've never been there.
Oh, did you?
Went there for 3 months. I was
Panthers.
I was working on. I was building a new airport out there.
Oh,
Just out of Badgerys Creek.
Right.
So I got to discover the whole western Sydney.
Right.
Fucking loved the place.
Yeah.
Had a really good time. I was there for 3 months and I'll go back tomorrow.
Yep.
Anyway, so
there's
Liverpool
lots.
way, righto.
Yep. Oh, but yeah, then we moved to Canberra when I was like 9 or 10 or something. And then as soon as I was old enough, I came back again to Sydney. And then I've always just been in kind of inner city kind of stuff as an adult.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like Sydney. I think it's. I'd never lived there, but I got to have me 3 months there, my time in the sun, and I think it's a good city.
Well, since I've been away for 6 years and come back, there's quite a few people have said, "Oh, I don't have a bike anymore. It's too dangerous."
Really?
People got sick of riding in Sydney. Yeah.
I rode everywhere. I thought it was great.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was fucking. You know what freaked me out?
What?
The tunnels. So
the tunnels,
they're going to the ground for like 30 k's.
Yeah.
Like, especially coming from Parramatta.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm going into the city, right? So I was going to footy one night.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this story is quite cool. I don't know if I should tell her actually.
Go on.
It's like all of your stories.
Don't hold back.
I'm going to change the names anyway. So anyway, so bloke I was working with, one of my colleagues, sort of same manager level as me, top bloke, bearded sort of construction worker, and he goes, "Oh mate, you're from Geelong." He goes, "The Swans are playing Cats tonight at the SCG. I've never been to the SCG." He goes, "I remember. Do you want to come?" I go, "Yeah, you fucking beauty." He goes, "Yeah, righto." And anyway, I said, "Look, I'll go home, get me motorbike, and I'll ride that in." He goes, "You can crash at my place in what's the suburb just near the nice suburb just
like
near,
Surrey Hills or
no,
Alexandria.
Not Surrey Hills. No. Oh fuck, it'll come to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just near the SCG, inner city, just not far from Bondi and that. Just Paddington.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives in Paddington. Beautiful apartment there, little townhouse. Said you can stay there, and so I didn't know this guy very well. Let's call him John. And he's in his 50s, surly sort of big built, bearded bloke.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go back, I get my bike. This is the middle of winter, so by the time I got my bike, it was 6 o'clock, it's dark. So I'm like, fuck, I'm going to go in. I got my maps on the quad log. Yeah. I'm like, I'll go down this fucking tunnel. But on the way, I'm riding along. I thought I'll give him a call. I'm on the headset on my phone. I go, John, on my way in, it says I'll be about an hour. He goes, no worries, here's my address. I'll meet you at the front. He goes, you can park a bike up the street. Welcome to stay. Yeah. He goes, my partner's coming as well. Right. I said, yeah, no worries, that's cool. He goes, we'll have a drink and we'll meet. Let's call him Kevin. Right. He's going to meet us there. He just said Kevin's going to meet us there, and I went, oh yeah, no sweat, that sounds like fun. I got off the phone and I went, Kevin, that's like a dude's name. Anyway, I'm too busy navigating. I go down this fucking tunnel. And like that tunnel going from Parramatta and it pops up in the city's got to be 20 or 30 k's. Yeah, and as you go down, it says put your windows up. Oh. Like put your windows up, put your AC on. And I'm like, I want a fucking motorbike. I'm like, am I supposed to be under here? Right. And it's just going down. It's dark, and I'm like, fuck, no fucking reception on my phone. I'm like, I could die down here. I could suffocate. And there's cars everywhere. I'm breathing all this shit in. I'm like, how the fuck? And I'm like, and I start like getting a bit anxious. Like literally, I don't know if I was getting short of oxygen or I was just freaking myself out.
Probably just freaking out.
I think just peeking myself out. Yeah. I didn't see another motorbike the whole time. And it starts coming up, and then it's like there's a turn off to go off to like Liverpool. I'm like, should I take it? Right. But Sydney's that way, and I'm like, nah, stay down here, stay down here. Start holding my breath. I'm like,
really? That's probably why you're getting more anxious.
Anyway, I'm sweating. I'm like, fuck this, and I pop up I reckon 20 minutes later. I'm like, they can't do it for you. But I'm like, why do they tell you to put your windows up? Like, what do you do why don't they say no motorbikes, or there was none of that?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I've never thought about it.
I've ridden through there quite a few times since, never had a problem.
It's good because there's hardly any cars in that really long one.
Yeah. No, it was good.
Yeah.
Cost me like $40 to ride through there for the privilege. Thanks, cheers, Sydney.
Thanks, government.
Whatever you call it.
Yep.
Anyway, I got up, pulled up, found my way to Paddington, my mate's house, walked down there, went in, we had a couple of whiskies, walked over to SCG. SCG's brilliant.
It's cool,
like
isn't
after
it?
going to the MCG, like MCG's like 10 times bigger.
Is it?
Like, it's
Oh, right.
like SCG's like gourmet food. There's even a Jamison's bar, craft beers, beautiful food. I'm like, this is fucking incredible. Like,
Yeah.
Sydney is posh. And anyway, we do that, and we go up to the stand and with John and Kevin,
Right.
sit down and like, no shit. Yeah. Kevin's a dude, been married, these blokes been married for like, not married, together, living together, for like, 20 years.
Yeah, right.
But Kev was like a bit younger, like maybe 10 years younger.
Yeah.
But that's not their real names. But I was like, wow, they're fucking...
That's cool.
Yeah, and we had the best night, like fucking footy. It was a draw, so Geelong and Sydney, just shit game. It wasn't a great game.
Yep.
But we had fun. Went back to their... we had a few drinks, went back to their place. Turns out that we know, it's like we're connected in ways anyway.
Yeah, right.
Went back to their place and like had a mad orgy. It was great. No, I didn't really. It was just, I went back to their place. Actually, I woke up in the morning and I was like, fuck, I didn't get invited. I don't know what happened, but
missed opportunity.
I woke up alone and. But
maybe next time.
I actually said to the boys, I was going, like it's really nice that you shared that with me, and like it's like construction industry sort of people. You know, it's like they're like, mate, we knew you wouldn't give a shit. And we had a fucking awesome time.
Well,
so,
that's cool.
Got to go to the SCG, hang out with a couple of gay people and that. It's like a real good experience.
Have you not done that before?
I have heaps. Yeah.
Hey, you fucking worked fun.
But no, it was cool. It was cool. It was cool. They felt comfortable with me. I thought it was great. I felt very, very special. So that's me. SCG gay people Paddington story.
Oh well, you got the whole experience.
So if John and Kev, if you're listening, I know that's not your real names, but I made that up. Just sharing that.
Now you just need to go to the nude beach somewhere, and then you'll be, sweet.
I fucking would love to go to a nude beach. Is there any around? Anyway, not tonight.
No, I meant in Sydney.
Where were we going with that before I went off on a tangent and started
idea.
telling stories? I think we should bring it back to your upbringing. So you moved back to Sydney.
Yeah.
And I started talking about the tunnels and Liverpool.
It's a thing.
So you would have been like high school or older when you were adult?
Oh, when I came back to Sydney?
Yeah, second after Canberra.
I would have been 22 maybe, 23.
Okay, 22, 23.
Yep.
And what were you doing then? You come back to Sydney or I'm back home?
Just, I don't know, I lived in Surrey Hills. I moved to Sydney with a boyfriend from Canberra. And then, I don't know, just started working and...
As a designer?
No, I was working... What the hell did I do? I worked at an ad agency, but more as a PA kind of role.
Yep.
Actually for some... No, I'm not going to tell that story.
Come on. No one listens to this anyway. No one listens anyway.
No. Well, it was an ad agency owned by...
Make the ad agency up and make the name up.
Yeah, just...
okay.
Or we can go back and chop it out.
It was an ad agency owned by the sister of royalty.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
And so I came across lots of, big name Sydney, business moguls and stuff, who I had no clue where they are and I didn't care. Yeah. So I told my mum, I guess you came into... This man, blah, blah, would come in and she's like, do you know who that is? He's, Australia's richest man. Then her sister who I was working for, the woman I was working for, her sister would call from England and think, hello, is blah, blah there. Yeah.
So super royal.
Proper royal.
Nice.
So it was a very...
Hello.
Pretty much. It was pretty strange. So that probably got me into my advertising kind of design kind of world. And then I always wanted to be a graphic designer, which I am now. And so I sort of just skirted around the edges until I was able to do it. So
did you ever get to meet said royalty?
No.
Or see them?
Just spoke to them on the phone. Okay. Spoke to them on the phone, darling.
Yes.
So that was an interesting
royalty
introduction.
Is a funny thing, isn't it? Like when you think about it, we're all like...
I think they're just business people.
They haven't actually done anything. It's like they're just like, yeah.
Business people that like polo and...
Business people that like polo.
Yeah.
I had no clue. I was young. I had no
I
idea.
think about it sometimes, like about if you're born into royalty, like the, what's his name with the red hair and that, and William and all those guys. Like you go, kind of, like they can't fart without it getting in the news,
Exactly.
but they didn't ask for that shit.
No.
No, that's true.
So
No.
you kind of go, whatever,
No.
But
No, I'd rather, be free to roam around in a van when I feel like it and go to Vietnam on a bike with strangers and...
Absolutely.
yeah.
Much more.
So, after that stage of your life, so we're going might be pushing your 30s then, I don't want to give your age away, but so
I'm
you
not
get
ashamed
what
of my
happened
age.
after that.
Yeah.
Because at some point you've ended up in Tasmania, and I'm trying to work out how that happened.
Well, motorcycles sent us to Tasmania
Oh,
actually.
look out!
I'm not kidding, because Mark and I were like riding a lot and going away for weekends, and
Hey,
I'd go
Mark.
away. Hi, Mark. We'd go away for weekends with my girl group, and then he and I would go away, and like other groups of people, and then coming back into Sydney on a Sunday afternoon was just shitty.
Yeah, shit,
Because it was like really hot and take you an hour, and you just sit in traffic, just idling, coming in on the highways. And so and every time we go out of Sydney, I was like, how do you get to live by the ocean, or, how do you get a house in the country but not be a farm, all that kind of stuff. And then we did a month-long trip in 2017.
Yeah.
It was like, let's just get on the bikes and see where we feel like going for a month. And so we went down to Victoria, and maybe spent a week going down to Victoria. Got to Melbourne, went, what's the weather like? Should we go over on the ferry to Tassie? And I literally thought the Tassie ferry was like a 3-hour ferry for like a couple $100 bucks.
Oh my God.
And we went to book it and went,
mate.
it's like 12 hours, and it's cost us almost $1,000 for 2 motorcycles.
Fiji for that.
Yeah.
With your bike.
Exactly. But we did it anyway, and we spent 2 weeks riding around Tasmania.
I fell in
And
love. Obviously the weather was good.
Well, it was crappy when we got off. I was like, I don't want this. It's cold and wet and dark. And then the sun came out, and everywhere we were going, we're like, I feel like something's telling us to come here more often or whatever.
Universe.
And then strangely ran into an old colleague who she had literally seen that I'd posted something on Facebook that we were down in Tasmania. And she sends me this message. I heard my phone ping when I was riding. And she said, I think you're in Tasmania right now. If you're down in this area, let me know, because she and her partner had bought a place that she was going backwards and forwards from Sydney.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I looked at my phone and went, I think we just rode past her house.
No shit.
And so I called her when we stopped at this little place called Gordon down on near Bruni, and called her and I said, where are you? And she said, I'm this place. I went, well, that's like, we just rode past that place. And so the next morning we went and met up with them. So we rode that night all the way down to Southport, which is the furthest place, and then came back and met them in Cygnet and the little village there. And like, come and have a look at the house. And they have this house, coming from Sydney, you're like, only rich people get to live on the water with views, right? And they had this house that had this giant window looking at Bruny Island across the water. And they're like, you've got what? How did you do that? And they're like, it was like really cheap, and this is how much. And we're like, what? What? And we just kept going, what? What? And so then when we came back to Sydney, Mark started looking at properties anywhere that had NBN at the time, basically. And so I'm like, shit, it's actually a bit too far to move down there, Mark. But then we went down to have a look at a few houses, and the house that we bought literally went up the driveway and went, oh my God.
And where was that?
Gardiner's Bay, it's called, which is near Cygnet.
Okay.
It's on Woodbridge Hill Road, which is this road that's got like spectacular
And that's
views.
where you stayed when you were down?
No, we sort of stayed all over the place. We hadn't actually done that road.
Yeah, so you lived there, or?
Yeah, then we bought a
into
place.
That, Oh, where'd you buy it?
So in Gardiner's Bay, like with this incredible view, because driving up the driveway to look at the house, it was like, shit, like, we can have this?
Yeah.
It was cheap.
Heck is that?
And it was like a no-brainer.
Any
Literally just
regrets?
went, well, no, not at all.
And how long were you there for?
6 years.
Yeah, the winters weren't too full on?
Yeah, but we made it nice and warm. All that kind of stuff.
That's. I mean, I live in on the surf coast.
Yeah.
It's fucking freezing. It was -3 the other day.
Freezing, yeah. But if you're nice and warm,
you've got the whole beach to yourself because only crazy people go to the beach.
Exactly.
There's no one around. It's beautiful when you get the fire going. As long as you've got plenty of wood, you're all right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
right.
Just keep it warm. Yeah.
That's it.
It's challenging to move location like that, but literally we could go out our driveway and ride for 5 hours straight without any traffic.
Yeah. So you never lived in Queenstown?
No, God, no.
Where did you fucking get that from?
Queenstown. I just thought we had the conversation with
Frankie's
Queenstown.
We were talking
I
about
live there.
Queenstown.
I'd die if I lived in Queenstown.
That's what I said.
I swear.
That's exactly what I said.
I swear.
And Frankie goes, "No way, I swear."
I swear it was Queenstown because I remember having this conversation. Maybe we were drunk in
I
bed.
knew you were
Maybe.
confused.
We used to
Cara and
I
I
knew you were
were in
confused.
Vietnam together, and we would go to bed at like 3 a.m. in the morning, so we'd just giggle and laugh and tell stories. But I swear we
Giggle
had
and
that
fart and tell
conversation
stories.
About living in Queenstown? I was probably
swear-
talking about
maybe-
people that I met that lived there.
Maybe, and isn't there like cute little fucking wine bars popping up there now?
Oh.
There is, yes, there's a little wine
I
bar
remember this
there.
conversation,
And there's a bit of an
though.
arts community moving in and like
Yeah, so it's
filmmaking
gonna
and stuff.
happen.
A bit,
Yeah.
but it hasn't happened
Guys,
yet.
Yeah.
buy it in Queenstown now.
No.
It's
Too late, it's already
it's
got, prices
famous.
have already hiked.
It's famous for the cheapest real estate in Australia.
Yeah, not
But the
anymore.
last thing I rode through there on a bike tour, probably 2020,
Yeah.
and what I saw was, and this I'm not judging anyone,
Mm.
but I saw a girl probably, I don't know, she could have been 15,
Yeah.
she could have been 25, I don't know, who fucking knows, you
Yeah.
know, like she was young, pushing a pram with one hand with a can of Woodstock in the other hand.
Nice.
And I'm like, what's the fucking time?
Mm.
It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, this is a fucking different place.
Yeah. Well, 2020, even 3 or 4 years on, it's changed. That's the kind of strange thing about
So
it.
there was a conversation
But
about
we would have been, yeah.
Okay.
But Tasmania is just a very special place. I mean,
really
I'm not
special,
saying
yeah.
that tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Like, it has
For
got
riding,
the rough
it's
side,
amazing. Yeah.
particularly the talking to the
Why
mic.
is it not working?
No.
Sorry, I
should talk you guys up.
But it's also got equally as much cool vibes going on. So,
Yeah. Yeah, there's some great stuff there, and cool
Yeah.
people move down and all that kind of stuff. The riding is supreme,
oh, it's incredible.
but the weather
Quiet roads.
isn't so fab all the time.
Yeah,
That's-
if you don't, but you know, it's like if you don't mind that shit.
Yeah,
It's like Ireland. We've just done 2 weeks in Ireland. It was
Yeah.
fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And we had a week of like bullshitly good weather.
yeah.
And we had a week of like, you
Yeah,
know,
it's ridiculous.
like, yeah, it was like heat wave, like hottest day on record sort of shit.
Yeah, wow.
You know, it was like 24. You know, like it
wow.
was fucking crazy.
That's pretty cool for Ireland.
The west, we got the whole west coast. It was, we couldn't believe it. But then we come down the east coast,
Yeah.
and you know, it wasn't freezing, but it was like 15, 16, and overcast for a couple of days, and we had one day of rain, and you know, it was fine. We just had to rug up, and we still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know, it was nice to pull in the pub and the fires going.
Yeah.
A couple of dudes and chicks playing Irish music in the pub, and
Yeah.
you're like, fuck, a few pints of Guinness. It's all good.
I
So
like it.
you just got to take the good with the bad.
Yep.
So, anyway,
Yeah.
have you got any plans to do another trip with us?
Well, not yet. If I didn't have to work, I would probably do. What are you doing next? India.
Next one's Rajasthan. We're doing Sri
Rajasthan.
Lanka. Then
Or Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
You've been to Sri Lanka already.
I have.
Yeah, so you need to do
Tuk-tuks.
Rajasthan. Would be fun for you.
Yeah,
That's
probably.
a story that
Yeah.
you should talk about.
What?
Your tuk-tuk adventure through
My tuk-tuk adventure?
Sri Lanka. That was...
Oh yeah, I did a tuk-tuk or rickshaw, whichever you want to call it. It was a rally, basically, so a fundraising thing.
Yeah.
So teams from all over
Like the
the world.
shitbox rally.
Kind of like the shitbox rally.
But the Sri
Yeah.
Lankan version.
Yeah, but you were kind of renting off people that owned these
Yep.
tuk-tuks, and then you had to have like big teams, and we had a big flag, and we were the evil Tuk-Nevils, so we just wore like white outfits with like white capes and stars and stripes and kind of stuff. It was really
What
fun.
was your favourite place in Sri Lanka that you went to?
Ooh, maybe I liked up in the mountains. What's the mountain
Allah.
bit? Allah, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We
Yeah.
stayed 2 nights on
Yeah,
our
that
bike
was
tour up there, and
gorgeous.
fuck, I always get up to mischief up there.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yeah,
had
you're
some
a
great
local
night up
now.
there.
They've opened a night.
Chill cafe.
Yeah, Chill. What's a
Cafe.
nightclub called that they've opened next to Chill?
So no, but you've been in Chill Cafe before.
Fuck,
How cool is it? So next door to that now, you would have been.
Yeah, there's
one
like
of the main.
The big is it big, kind of big?
It's big and
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
big.
a treehouse.
Oh yeah.
So next door, they've
We did
opened
go
up a full-on nightclub.
Oh cool.
Yeah,
It's
like.
fucking. Well, when I say nightclub,
I remember seeing your
It
pictures.
is.
It's a yeah. It is when
it's a
the
nightclub room.
when the
Yeah.
bar shuts, you can go in there and
Yeah.
like drink more, which
Got it.
is the last thing I need when I'm in Ella.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We had, one of my favourite times was we ended up hanging out with this Sri Lankan guy, but he lived in Canada with his wife. He had organic, he was an organic producer, like coconut cream and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
And anyway, he was setting up all these women in this particular village to empower them, and like they were making the packaging, they were cutting the coconuts, all this kind of stuff. So we hung out with them, and we stayed in. So we stayed in that town, and he took us for a couple of days, I think, one day, to the villages. We went with them.
Yeah.
Well, no, he just invited us to come along. And so we met, all the village women, and they were like, he was like a god because he was empowering them.
Giving them work and all that. Yeah, that's awesome.
And then we stayed at another place that was owned by a famous Sri Lankan cricket player, Kalu, I think his name is.
Righto.
And so I said, I play cricket to the guys at the reception.
Yep.
And they're like, do you want to have a cricket game tomorrow? So I captained this cricket team, taught my friends to play cricket. There was a Canadian girl and my friend Shelley, who's Californian. She had no idea how to play cricket.
Yeah.
So I was like, we played
It's
cricket
just
in the
baseball.
car park.
Same thing,
Yeah.
We've got to go to an event
Oh, yes. What time is it?
tonight. So
Yeah, we're gonna
I can
go
see
1 hour.
Frankie's looking at me going, we've got to go set
Gotta go.
up. So,
Gotta go.
Cara,
Gotta
thank you
go.
for your time.
No
It's
problem.
fucking awesome to see you again. It's
Yeah.
been too long.
Yeah.
Cheers,
Let's
cheers,
do
cheers.
Thanks
this.
for having me.
When on your way down, if you got time, come through
Yes.
G-Town and we'll
I'll
sit
be
down.
down
We
in
can
G-Town.
come
Anyway,
down.
down to Sydney. It's a big detour.
Yeah. Anyway,
Maybe
you know what
another time.
You know what I mean? Like, anyway, I'd like to do. Maybe we'll come to Sydney. We do need to go
Come
to
to
Sydney.
Sydney, yeah. Come and
We
have
do need to come to Sydney. I
I'll
need
get-
to go back to Penrith.
I'll get some
It's my
people.
spiritual home.
Penrith.
Thank you for
West
listening,
Beach.
everyone. If you haven't jumped on a tour,
Do
we're
it.
booked out
It's
this
worth it,
year,
everyone.
but we've got some stuff next year. So I think Sri Lanka and
Are you gonna do
Himalayas. We've got the Himalayas coming up next year.
Himalayas.
I'm running that. I'm like,
Ooh.
yeah, and I'm going to tell some jokes about my recent audition.
Alright, see you later, guys.
No dad jokes.
All right, signing off. Thanks for listening.